into this plea. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You're aware of that. You understand that.
Yes, sir.
All right. The first document I'm going to show you, and by the way, we've talked about that verbally, and now we're going to show you a lot of documents that talk about those rights and constitutional protections, okay? The first one, well, the one we're showing you now is what's called discovery acknowledgement. This talks about Article 39.14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. That's Texas laws that require that the prosecutors, the state's attorneys, turn over to you and your attorney information, documents, evidence, everything available is necessary for you to make an intelligent and informed decision. This document is signed by Mr. Andrew Harris Edelman and by your attorney, Ivan Barrera. Do you see their signatures there at the bottom of that page?
Yes, sir.
All right. The document I'm showing you now, this is your agreement. You have signed this agreement that you don't need to do this at the open courtroom, that you're in agreement that particularly because of COVID-19, that you're doing this, that we're doing this hearing by video conference, and you have no objection. In fact, you agreed to that. Did you in fact agree to this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next document is called Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. Right at the top here, of course, you see the basic information that's repeated. It's your name, the case number, and the court number. Then it has the title, Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. The first sentence says that you're telling me that you don't need me to read the official document in writing that accuses you of DWI with a blood alcohol content of 0.15 or higher. That's commonly referred to as extreme intoxication. All right. It says there, the third sentence right at the top there in front of you on the screen, that you say, I hereby enter a plea of nolo contendere. That is, you're not fighting the charge, you're not contesting it. And in this case, your attorneys have done some good work for you. They have gotten the state to agree to waive and abandon the extreme intoxication enhancement. In other words, they're lowering the charge for you to DWI first. And this document here, the rest of this document is divided into 15 parts, and they're numbered. Part 1 talks about the range of punishment. And you'll see at the top of this whole group of little boxes that talk about the different ranges or types or quantity as far as the very first one says DWI first, which is what's going on here. The fine can be $0 to $2,000 and jail from 72 hours to 180 days. Do you see and understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, now number 2, what does that talk about? Can you tell me real quick? It says you have a right to a jury trial, a right to cross-examine witnesses, and a right to remain silent. And it declares, are you declaring to me that you're freely and voluntarily giving up those rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Ms. Johnson, have you ever had any kind of mental health problems?
No, sir.
Have you ever been given or taken mental health medications?
Yes, sir.
You have. And what has that been? Do you recall?
I was in a car accident and they said I had PTSD, depression, and anxiety.
Uh-huh.
The medication always put me to sleep or made me feel paranoid, so I stopped taking it.
Okay. Are you under any medication right now? Any kind of mental health medication?
No.
Okay. Now, have you ever been, I doubt it, but have you ever been involved with the sex offender registration program?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, Where were you born, ma'am?
8975.
No, dear. Where? The
Oh, New
place.
Orleans, Louisiana.
All right. That makes you a U.S. citizen, and I'll so note that in the file. Uh, did you review this document with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
You did not?
I did. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I did. I reviewed it with him.
All righty. Now, number 15, you're saying in there, you're declaring to me under oath that you're giving up that right, and that is the right to have me order a study, an examination of risk and needs for you. It's called a risk and needs assessment. And you're agreeing that you don't really need that? You don't want that?
Right, sir.
Okay, thank you. And it's got your signature, your attorney's signature, and that of the prosecutor. I will be signing that officially. The document you're being shown now, it has the basic information at the top. Then it says the title is Trial Court Certification, a Defendant's Right of Appeal. I mentioned to you that a right of appeal is a right for you and or your attorney to demand a higher court review the record in this case and the evidence for whatever challenge you wanted to make. Now that right, though, because you're making a deal, it's a plea agreement. You're giving up that right, and there's a box right there. You see at the top of it, a little box that'll be marked. I am
Yes, sir.
certifying to you that this is a plea bargain case, and therefore you do not have a right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Real good. And you sign that document. I will be signing it myself. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me just a second. I'm in court. I can't talk right now. Thank you. All right. Now, the document I'm showing you now, it has the same basic information at the top. This one is called an application for deferred adjudication. This is a very helpful form of community service, community supervision or probation, because if you go through this and you do 100% of what you're supposed to, all the conditions, then this charge will be dismissed and you're not convicted of it. That's very important. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, we talked about you can be fined 0 to 2,000 and you can be put in jail from 0 days to 180 days, 72 hours to 180 days, excuse me. Uh, in this particular case, since you're getting deferred adjudication, if you screw it up, if you fail or refuse to live up to 100% of the conditions, then the state can ask me to bring you in after official notice, have a hearing, and if they show enough evidence, then I can go ahead and convict you. And that means the whole thing is on the table now, $0 to $2,000 fine and jail from 72 hours to 180 days. Is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
All right. It's very important. And the beauty of it is all you got to do is live up to the conditions, case dismissed, never found guilty. Never convicted, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now this is signed by the deputy clerk. It's signed by your attorney. I will be signing this also, okay?
Yes, sir.
Then you have, here you have the personal data sheet. Did you put this information in there and is it all true and correct?
Yes, sir.
All righty. How long have you been with Popeyes?
I want to say uh, about 4, going on 5 months now.
Okay, it sounds like you're solidly established, huh?
Trying.
Good girl. Keep it up. Uh, the information on your references, this is all accurate and complete.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, you have 5 children, 5 dependents?
4 of my own, and one is my stepson.
Okay. And their ages?
Uh, 29 down to 24.
Okay, so they're all adults by law.
Yes, sir.
All right, by law, we cannot consider them your dependents, okay?
Okay.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
okay. got a good car. All right, Ms. Johnson, to the charge of, oh, excuse me. State, do you have a motion?
State moves to waive the extreme intoxication enhancement and proceed as an unenhanced DWI.
That's DWI first, or also known as misdemeanor B, DWI.
Yes, sir.
Defense, any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
The court then will grant the motion. Officially, Ms. Johnson, you're charged with DWI first, a misdemeanor B, instead of the A level that you had, which would have been $0 to $4,000 and jail from 0 days to 1 year. So you've got a benefit there to start off with. I will be marking this plea agreement on the first two boxes. The first one talking about the right to remain silent primarily. The second one showing that you are a U.S. citizen. This agreement, the next section says defendant's acknowledgements. There's 5 boxes checked off that talk about the important constitutional rights and protections that you have been informed of, that I have informed you, and so has your attorney. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, there's the motion in writing that the state has knocked out the extreme intoxication accusation. And they're also showing that they're moving on DWI first. There's no objections marked. I will mark that the motion is granted, which I did orally a while ago, and it'll be in writing. Scroll. Your official plea is what?
I forgot what it's called.
No contest,
Yes, sir.
also known as nolo contendere. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
And you do understand that that plea by itself, I could convict you straight out right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I find that there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, including your own plea. But I do not. Instead, I'm honoring the agreement that was made for you, or that you made together with your attorney. You are granted 12 months deferred adjudication. You are fined $450. But if you live up to 100% of the conditions, then 350 of that will be forgiven. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
If you screw up and you fail to refuse to do it, then we can impose the whole fine. In
Yes,
fact,
sir.
it can be $0 to $2,000. Now, you will perform 48 hours of community service restitution. As part of your conditions, you will be required to, in good faith, enroll and complete the DWI education program, the DWI victim impact panel, what's called a TAP evaluation, and follow the recommendations. In addition, you will have 6 months of ignition interlock imposed on you on the monitor will be attached to your vehicle for 6 months. During the whole probationary period, the deferred adjudication, you're not to have any alcohol at all, never. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're going to have to go to the court in the hallway behind County Court 5 are the offices. You need to show up there, sign any papers that you may not have signed, and in particular, you need to have your thumbprint put on the papers. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, you have a week to do that. Are you actually supporting your dependents, or it would seem like they're adults and should be working?
Only one still live home.
Okay, so and that one is how old?
24.
How old is the child? What is boy or girl?
Girl?
Okay, is she working?
No. She refused to work due to COVID.
Okay, then the supervisory fee will be $25 a month, which is the minimum the lowest that I can do. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then you be careful, stay out of trouble, be extremely careful with the drinking. You know what's the worst thing can happen to you, ma'am? You're out drinking and driving and you kill one of your own children, that'd be the worst thing that God could ever do to you. The other side of it is you can take care of yourself and take care of your children and never have to worry about this again, okay?